So I'd been an engineer for 10 years when I fell pregnant, and to be honest, it was a real difficult decision for me to have. I really loved being an engineer. I didn't want to be out of work for any period of time, but at the same time, these sort of emotional things take over in your life. And so the pregnancy part of it was all very fun, people making jokes out of me. I had to wear much larger PPE, that type of thing. I had to do an interview for a local radio station, but they were taking photos. So I had to be dressed up in all of my yellows, my hard hat, but I was 8 months pregnant. So if you can imagine, I had extra large trousers on that could go around my waist, but because they still weren't quite big enough, I had to sort of stand with my legs akimbo to keep these trousers up in sort of snow and wind on top of Bodmin Moor. And so, that part of it was really enjoyable. And then when I had my son and I was at home and I was just changing nappies and putting a baby to sleep and feeding baby, I found it really difficult not to use my brain anymore and to problem solve, because it wasn't about problem solving, it was about routine. And I think that I struggled with that more so than a lot of people might have done. I didn't have a sort of naturally nurturing side, which then you sort of beat yourself up about. And so when I returned to work, again, that was a really difficult transition because I'd been out of the workplace. I wasn't as switched on as I was before. I wasn't as quick as I was before. And it was a really, really difficult time of my life. And I would probably say it was the most difficult time in my life. I found out that I had postnatal depression and anxiety to go with that. And I was fortunate in a way that I did get some support from work, but I did feel quite isolated going through that process because you work with, generally speaking, quite a lot of men whose wives may have gone through it, but they haven't been through it themselves. And so to feel like you're about to burst into tears at any given moment when you're in a work environment, when you're in a meeting, just sort of takes away that confidence that you might have had when you sort of were still an engineer and you didn't have any ties. I've got over that now, so I'm in a far more positive place, and actually having a family has put a lot of stuff into context for me. So I try to get the work-life balance right, and I'm making decisions now, being more thoughtful about the impact that it has on people. So I've got more of an emotional side now, so some people will find that quite astonishing. But it's all about sort of what we're doing for the communities. And I think that being a woman in the industry with a young family has made me realise that actually we've got a long way to go to make sure that we're more of a diverse industry. And we can only do that by really understanding the people that we're trying to attract into the industry. And sometimes it's not about equality. So not everyone wants to be dealt with in the same way, and we have to understand the intricacies around that. So, as I say, my experience was quite challenging for me personally, but I think that we can all learn from that. And I'm sure that there are individuals that we all work with that we think, do you know what? I need to think about how I work with them in a very different way. Do they need to have more flexible working? Do I need to be a bit softer in the sort of language that I use? Because otherwise we will start to lose people from the industry. And I think it's quite a proven fact, really, that a lot of women, when they get to childbearing age or when they've had young families, move out of our industry. And I think that's a completely unacceptable situation.